Hello everyone, welcome back. You're watching AttilaGames. My name is Brad Young, and for this series of videos, we are going to be exploring decks from the future. So what we're going to be doing today is playing around with some of the cards that are coming out in Gatecrash and exploring a Naya Midrange deck that I believe is going to be, the shell is going to be very good come next standard. So let's go through the breakdown. So again, this deck is very reminiscent of last season's Naya mid-range decks with the lots of mana dorks and like the full 8 mana dorks, and it's really a 1-3-4 deck really. So the core of the deck is 4 Arbor Elves, 4 Avacyn's Pilgrims, which curve you into Loxodon and Smiters, the full 4, 3 Huntmasters, 4 Thragtusks, 4 Restoration Angels, a couple Borderland Rangers in there to help you make your land drops, and rounding out the curve is Thundermaw Hellkite as a 2-of, as your kind of finisher. Now, I believe the ability to just be able to do a 1-3-4 and so on curve is going to be, as always, very powerful. It's very, Loxodon Smiter is very strong turn 2 play, Huntmaster is a very strong turn 3, so on and so forth. Now, a new card, new addition to the deck, I'm playing a Singleton Boros Charm in the main deck with an extra in the sideboard. I think this card is very good. I'm not too certain if the mid-range shell is the absolute ideal home for it, but I think this card is really, really good. So at instant speed for red and white, if you haven't seen it already, you get to choose one, like all the charms, deals 4 damage to a player, permanents you control are indestructible this turn, or target creature gains double strike until end of turn. I think that's really, really good, especially the ability to screw up the combat math and make all your cards indestructible. It also protects all of your large number of creatures from being wiped with a Supreme Verdict and spot removal, so on and so forth. Maybe this card needs to be more of in the deck, but I just couldn't really find a way to fit them all in. I actually built this deck 5 minutes before we're actually recording this video, so I haven't had any time to be able to test this whatsoever. But I'm going to be playing 2 Boros Charms in my 75, and I might even want more. The other 3 instants are 3 Selesnya Charms. They've seen a lot of play in this past this current format of Standard. Really great at just killing the large drops on your opponent's curve, large creatures, again screwing up combat math, pushing through damage, so on and so forth. The lands are very self-explanatory. We have a pair of Cavernous Souls, a pair of Gavony Townships, and a Kessig Wolfrun. I kind of want more Gavony Townships just due to the large creature density and the number of dorks we play. But Kessig Wolfrun, excuse me, is just really good at pushing damage through. And we have lots of flyers in the deck, so if we can get an unblockable like flying creature on the board, we can close out the game really quickly with Kessig Wolfrun. It kind of, I don't even really need to say that. Now the card that makes this deck even possible is the new addition of Stomping Grounds to the Standard environment. This card is just awesome. I'm so happy we have this land back in our format. It's probably my favorite of all of the dual lands. The art is sweet. I want to take a little side note here and say that I really disliked the old art for Return to Ravnica for the dual lands, but for Gatecrash, the art on these dual lands is phenomenal. If you haven't seen them, check them out. They're sweet. They're wicked. They did a really, really good job this time around. So getting back to the deck, there's a couple Garruk Relentless in the deck. I like Planeswalkers. I like Wolves. I like killing creatures, pushing early damage through. So we got Garruk Relentless. And 3 Bonfires of the Damned. When I was first putting this deck together, I had the full 4, and I cut one for a Boros Charm because I realized that Boros Charm is sweet. So we have the 3 Bonfires in the main deck. We have a second one in the sideboard because if I come across like a mirror, a mid-range kind of creature-based mirror, I want to have the other Bonfire because the card just wins games. It's unfair. We've talked about it at length. So the sideboard, we have a pair of Silklash Spiders to deal with opposing flyers, blocks everything in the the Rakdos type decks that I'm certain are going to still be around. It wipes out Lingering Souls tokens, blah 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 blah. We have a Singleton Zealous Conscripts for the big creatures, take their big creature against Reanimator, potentially against the Mirror depending on what their configuration is. Control, really good card. I might want more, but I couldn't really find a way to add more to the sideboard with all the other cards I wanted, so we're playing the 1. I would kind of like more, but we're playing 1. Centaur Healer for any of the aggro decks. Again, same thing as Silklash Spider, gains you life, yada yada yada. We have the other Boros Charm that I talked about. We have 3 Skullcracks. I don't know if I want to play 4 Skullcracks, but I definitely want to play 3. This card is crazy. This card is ridiculous. It shuts down the if you have it on the turn that they play Thragtusk, if you have it on the turn that they play what's that card? Sphinx's Revelation. They just don't gain the life. They get the cards off of it, but they don't gain the life, and I think that that's a big deal. I don't really know if I want the Skullcrack kind of ability in this deck. I kind of think that maybe a better idea would be splashing a couple black lands into the mana base and playing Slaughter Games like I did in the in this current standard environment. But Skullcrack's new, Skullcrack's shiny, and everybody's talking about it, and I want to put it to use and see what the card can do. I just want to see it in action because I just want to Skullcrack people because it's going to be fun. And Magic is nothing if it's not fun, right? Anyway, I don't know. Magic's not fun, but we play it anyway. We have the 3rd Planeswalker in the sideboard, Primal Hunter, again, against control decks, against mid-range mirrors, creature decks, draws you cards, makes guys, it's perfect. We have 3 Pillar of Flames against any of the aggro decks. I don't know why I'm so heavily metagaming against aggro, but I still think it's going to be a thing. Moving forward, we have the other Bonfire of the Damned for the mid-range decks, and for things that we just want to play unfair cards against. So without any further ado, we're going to jump into some standard games and see who wants to take a trip with me into the future. It's going to be awesome. I'm so stoked.